Okay, I'm on Galloway Road. This is the house up here, and then the two homes that sit behind it. I'm back at the very back corner of the property. Interestingly enough, this little section in the back belongs to the railroad. I talked to the property owner next door, and this piece of land back here is owned by the railroad. They don't do anything with it, and the people can just use it. But after 5 years of continuous ownership, when a person buys the property, and if they own it for 5 years, they can have a real estate attorney petition for quiet title, and apparently the railroad has agreed that they will transfer title of this property upon documenting continuous use for 5 years. So this section back here that goes up to the railroad ties is kind of a bonus that can be used that isn't technically part of the land, and that was on the aerial and the plat map I showed. So this is looking across. There are nice properties really quite all around here. You can see some of the nice properties up on the hill. So we'll walk in closer so you can get a better view. Across the street over here you can see cows. It appears to be some kind of a small dairy operation. Looks pretty small, but there are cows over there. I did talk to the neighbor. He's been here for about 10 years, and he said he's just about ready to go through the process to apply for quiet title for the land, because his property and this property are the two that have the ability to do that. Because apparently these 3 homes used to be the area where the railroad would load grain, and the tracks, the road back behind that I was just at, used to be where the tracks ran years ago. And when the railroad pulled out, they sold the land off that the granary was on, but for some reason these little end pieces got transferred, or never got transferred with the property. They just remain here, and the railroad has no use for them at all. So my understanding is the property line, the official property line, follows this fence. Which would probably feels about right. There aren't any covenants or any kind of rules out here, so people can pretty much do what they want. The neighbor said his drain field is behind his house, off behind where that chicken coop is. I went and talked to him, and he said he believes the drain field runs out through this pasture, you know, this animal area out here too. He did say that the history of the home is that the people owned it for about 10 years, and they raised their kids here, and then they moved to a bigger house, and the sister moved in, the owner's sister moved in. Here's chain link, by the way. The sister moved in, and she had a whole lot of people living with her. He said way more than really should have been here. He said that he can't remember that they've ever pumped the septic system. He said it probably needs to be done. And he said there is a chance, he said that they had so many people living in the house that sometimes it seemed like the ground in the back in the pasture area was wet, damp, to indicate that maybe the septic system was saturated. There is a chance that the property, that they just were overusing it. There's a chance that the septic tank was just over full, but there is a chance as well that the drain field might need to be replaced. Not an expensive replacement, but there is a chance. So the neighbor was able to give me that information, that apparently down along this ditch, that occasionally they would have, if they were really using the property heavily, that it seemed like the ground, the excess saturation would accumulate and make that area damp along that little runoff ditch here on the side of the road. So it would certainly be worth having a septic company come and inspect the saturation level as soon as the weather improves. And if it needed to be replaced, it certainly can be done at a reasonable cost. There are a lot of people who do that kind of work. He did tell me that the well provides very good water. He gave me a glass of it to drink. And the meter for the well is on the middle property to Mr. Roper, the one I was speaking to. He gets a water meter every month, and he just divides it in thirds. And he said in the winter it's about $6 a month total, and divided by 3. And in the summer he said it can get up to 20 or 30. And then if there are any repairs needed to the well, those are also divided in thirds. And he said they did replace the bladders for the pressure tank a couple years ago, and he said they've had no trouble and everything appears to be in really good repair. So we're walking around the outside of the home. It's never really had gutters that I can tell, which is why the trim here is discolored. I think it doesn't rain here a lot, but when there's snow like this, the dripping water is what has caused that discoloration, no doubt. Otherwise, the siding really appears to be in pretty good condition, other than, you know, may have to replace some of that trim board around the edges. It's a bit snowy out here. This is the front door. This is where I started the video. And this is where I was suggesting need some kind of a handrail or something, because the stairs here, there's no railing of any kind. There's another look here. It needs a little bit of trim work here, repair where this water spigot is. That appears to be the septic clean out right there. Alright, let's walk around the back.